All Rise Open Pace. You're stepping on the track for the fifth race. It's the Odds On Racing All Rise Open Pace, sponsored by Dana Parham and Best Bet Stables. Purse of $150,000. No changes in the fifth. One is Filibuster Hanover. Ron Burke trains for the Burke Racing Stable. Joseph Descalda Jr., Jerry Teresa Silva Stables. Weaver Bruce Shibby, Chris Page. Number 2 is Air Major Dan. Virgil Morgan Jr. trains. Brent Miller is in the bike for the Enviro Stables. Ned Hodkinson and Milton Lehman. 3, Centra. Tyler George trains for Michael Guerrero, Kelly Waxman, Dunzio Vita, Frank Cirillo, Scott Zerot at the lines. 4, Century Pharaoh. Dr. Ian Moore, the treader for the Ratchford Stable, Dave Miller. 5, Brassy Hanover, Jeff Culliford trains, and he co-owns the Tom Pollock's Pollock Racing LLC, Andy McCarthy. 6 is Backstreet Shadow. Ron Burke trains the Burke Racing Stable, Weaver Bruce Shibby, Larry Carr, Jerry and Teresa Silva, Purdell and Libby, Tim Tetrick. 7 is Better's Wish. Chris Rodder trains, Dexter Duddup. 4, ownership of Chris Rodder, Bella Racing, Fair Island Farm, and Better's Wish Partners. The 8 is Dorsadoro Hanover. Ron Burke trains for the Burke Racing Stable, Jerry and Teresa Silva, Purdell and Libby, Weaver Bruce Shibby, the Wingfield 5, Matt Kikali. Number 9, This Is the Plan. Ron Burke trains for the Burke Racing Stable, Weaver Bruce Shibby, Jerry and Teresa Silva, Purdell and Libby, and Larry Carr. You got a Jingra between the wheels. Rounding out the field is Dance and Lou. Toddy Cavallari, the trader. Brian Sears aboard for David Cryway at 1362313, Ontario Limited. That is the field here. Shootout group going for a purse of $150,000. The All Rise Open Pace is next. Sponsored by Odds On Racing, Dana Parham, the Best Bet Stables. A few minutes, no changes in race 5.
Our first Alaraj Open final of the day with the free-for-allers coming up next in the Odds On Racing sponsored event. This is the 5th this Sunday afternoon at the Red Mile on Kentucky Futurity Day. And we have an amazing field of free-for-allers here. Combined earnings, Gabe, just shy of $12 million.
What a good group this All Rise has produced. Just unbelievable miles over the years, Dave. You think back, I remember the battle with McWicked and Lazarus. Of course, always be Mickey, the sponsor of our post parades. It went the 146 mile. That was back in October 2016. So it's always one of the more fun events here on closing day, and this group does not disappoint. Probably, Dave, for my money, the best betting race of the day. This is a tricky group. I don't think you're going to eliminate anyone here. If the right circumstances, if the right trip happen, I think any of these horses are good enough to take advantage.
It's going to be a good race to watch, that's for sure. And if you can get a price, you probably will get paid. Let's begin the discussion with number 7, Better's Wish here. We just saw Dexter Dunn and Chris Ryder in the winner's circle after that phenomenal performance by Party Girl Hill. Better's Wish bounced back nicely for his connections up in the Dayton Pacing Derby. We've got Art Zubrod, Leah Chevry from the Fair Island Farm sitting just a couple of feet away as they get ready to cheer on their horse. And we thank them again for their sponsorship of the Grooms Cups, which is the second year here. Every winning groom of any of these stakes races get a special memento. Better's Wish, bred by the Brittany Farms. That's George Siegel, of course. And maybe the only question here is would the post make things a little bit more difficult?
Well, I think it's always a tough transition from the age of 3 to 4. And I think Better's Wish ideally may look to seek out a type of trip he had last week there in Dayton. So I don't think post 7 is that much of a detriment. Of course, that will be up to driver Dexter Dunn. But he did get teed up there with the perfect trip last out, Dave, but he did take full advantage. Sharp score there. I've always been a huge fan of Better's Wish. A double millionaire pulling double duty this year as well.
A lot of money in the tote board right now for number 3, Sintra, the 7-year-old warhorse. He's 30 lifetime wins here. I didn't expect him to be 20-1 like he was on the morning line, and he had no chance up at Dayton.
Got to respect the Millionaire's resume. Yeah, Hoosier Park last time just got away at an impossible spot there. That was a similar group in that Hoosier Pacing Derby Day because it's top to bottom. A deep group. We saw an upset in that race, as we very well could see here as well. But Citra cut the margin late. Did do a lot of good work at the late stages. He's now raced twice for the new barn, Tyler George, high percentage outfit. And this is a high percentage horse, 30 of 73 for the millionaire. Nice resume, Citra. You could never count him out, but I'm a bit shocked to see him up there that short as well. 5-1 right now, but expect that will drift up. He should be at double digits by the time we go to the gate here.
Hall of Fame driver Dave Miller has been very high on Century Pharaoh for a very long time. He drives for Dr. Ian Moore out of Canada and the Ratchford stable. Tough trips and a lot of bad luck journeys recently. Maybe today will be his day.
Yeah, I could see that happening. He just never got involved over at Hoosier 2 starts back. Not sure what was up with that. He actually went off as the slight favorite there in what was a wide-open group. Last out, he actually got picked off there as the 3-year-old Ocean Rock cut that mile and sort of picked off Century Pharaoh. He didn't really get a chance to race until it was way too late, but he did slip through, and he got a good third-place finish. He was very good that night. I think that's the point. He was very good there, even leaving the gate, and he had plenty of pace finishing up. So I think if you watch the replays back, Century Pharaoh was going to catch your eye at this event today.
Number 5, Brassy Hanover has very quietly put together a strong 2020 campaign. 5 wins from 11 starts for the Cullifer crew. Jeff and Tom Pollock are with us here today. Possible upsetter here at the Red Mile?
We can't overlook him. He's got the perfect post here. He's versatile. He's got plenty of options. He took the Send It In Invitational there at Scioto Dave. He had a perfect trip that night on the back of a Little Rocket Man, what was a good field. So he likes to be close. He's ultra consistent. 10 of 11 on the board this year. Most of those starts have come against a very top-level company. I think Andy McCarthy does a great job driving him for the top connection. So 6-1 seems very good on Brassy Hanover. I think he could be a big part today.
Big overlay, I think, on the 6, Backstreet Shadow for the Burke Brigade. If he manages to pull the upset today, it will be his 25th lifetime win from just 57 starts here. Why is he being ignored?
Well, the line doesn't look great on paper, but he was picked off as well there as Ocean Rock started to stop at that Dayton Derby. He took an aggressive shot there in that Hoosier Park pacing derby. I thought there for a moment he may be home free in that event. He did ultimately tire just in the final yards, but he took it a very aggressive swing there 2 starts back at Hoosier Park. I'm like you, Dave. I mean, this guy deserves respect, and he's not getting much of it right now. That is a huge, huge price.
The Burke Brigade have not 1, not 2, not 3. They've got 4 in this Alaraj final. A couple of them did not get any love from the post gods. Do you give any chance to Dorsaduro Hanover, or this is the plan?
You know, it's just tough to eliminate anyone. Dorsaduro maybe not quite as good there last start, but I thought he was very good there at Hoosier Park 2 back. So again, when he shows up with his fastball working, he's a horse you have to give a look at. This is the plan. I just don't know how he gets worked in the race here today. I mean, there's a lot of speed here. We do have Yannick at the bike. Perhaps he decides to take a shot early, but that is a tough assignment from a tricky post here this afternoon.
I think we could say the same thing about Danson Lou. He'll have to navigate from post 10. He was a winner here of the Tattersalls last year for trainer Ton Camilleri here. We're going to need a little Brian Sears magic today.
Yes, we are, and that's another horse that you're really going to have to question the tactics. We know he can leave the gate. But this could be quite the shootout off the wings, so it'll be curious here. Danson Lou, I would have given him much more attention from a better post. But the good thing is, when you do get one of those outside posts, that inflates the price 14-1. Had he drawn inside, I think he'd be about half that.
All right, speaking of the wings, they are moving into position. So have a good call here, Gabe. We know this is going to be an exciting one.
That Dream Foundation starting gate has moved into position. It is post time. For one of our favorite events each and every fall here in Lexington, the All Rise Open Pace, sponsored by Odds On Racing, Dana Parham and Best Bet Stables. Appreciate their sponsorship. It's the Odds On Racing All Rise Open Pace. Full field of 10 lined up. The All Rise Open Pace. They are on game. And they are off. This is the plan. Goes sprinting out quickly for Gingras. Center of the track, Century Pharaoh left out. Our Major Dan on the move into the opening turn. And Better's Wish also looking to mix it up there as they sprint into the Tattersalls turn. Century Pharaoh takes over the lead from our Major Dan. This is the plan. Still advancing up there on the outside is Better's Wish. Dove early into fourth. Filibuster Hanover's out following in fifth. Danson Lou's caught wide at the 6th spot. He's pressing on there in tight traffic with Backstreet Shadow still caught on the rim. The quarter was 27-3. Centra's dead at the inside 8th. Brassy Hanover stacked up in the early stages, ninth in front of Dorsal Duro Hanover as they mix it up across the backstretch. This is the plan took over, but it's Better's Wish who now reaches up for a done. The slight favorite, Better's Wish, takes over command from This Is the Plan, but will face immediate pressure in the form of Century Pharaoh. So they continue to do battle as they race up to the half-mile mark in 54-4. Century Pharaoh looks to move up and wrestle lead away from a Better's Wish, who counters and quickens down at the inside. This is the plan with a decision to make. Gingras still tracking down at the inside right now, third with 3/8 to go. Our Major Dan follows at the cones in a fourth. Dancing Lou's been out every step, but he continues to work up in the fifth spot. Backstreet Shadow's been out every step as well. He's up a sixth there with Filibuster Hanover. Saving ground at the seventh spot. It's a Better's Wish who takes the field at the top of the stretch in the All-Raj open pace. This is the plan. Continues to track in second. Century Pharaoh begins to unravel. Center of the track, that's Backstreet Shadow who moves up. They reach mid-stretch. Better's Wish maintains the lead from This Is the Plan. Backstreet Shadow third. Brassy Hanover's up at the far outside fourth, but it's Better's Wish. Better's Wish sharp today. Better's Wish down to the line in 1:48. This Is the Plan was second. Backstreet Shadow third. Brassy Hanover finished fourth. Seven, 9, 6, 5, and officially in the fifth. Turning track side with the Diamond Creek Farm Winners presentation. This is Better's Wish. Chris Ryder, the treader. Dexter Dunn aboard the win once more. The connections go back-to-back here on closing day. Better's Wish owned by Chris Ryder of New Jersey. Delta Racing of Ohio. Art Zubron and Leah Chevy's Fair Island Farm. Versailles and the Better's Wish partners of Florida. Better's Wish, 4-year-old bay stallion by Better's Delight. The Western Ideal Mare Lifetime Star. With the win today, he eclipses Mr. Big's track record. And so it's a new track record performance for Better's Wish. 148 flat for 4-year-old pacing stallion. Better's Wish bred by the Brittany Farms of Versailles. 2 in a row. It's his 4th of the season. 22nd overall for the Double Millionaire. Better's Wish in a track record performance here this afternoon. 148 flat. Results are official. The prices are up. Better's Wish 520, 360, 320. Second of the 9, This Is the Plan, 10:26:40. Third of the 6, Backstreet Shadow, 5:20. Tyler Jones of the Cameo Hills Farm, Great Sea Winnicott Actions Trackside, present the trophy to the All-Raj Open Pace winner, the Odds on Racing Open Pace, sponsored by Dana Parham and Best Bet Stables, to the connections of Bettor's Wish. Your exact combination here of 7-9 returns $43. The $1 trifecta was $210. 20-cent superfecta, $239.20. And the early pick 3, $21.40. It is a track record performance today over the off-track for Bettor's Wish. 148 flat back-to-back major stakes wins for Bettor's Wish. And Dave Brower standing by with one of his co-owners, Art Zubrod, is trackside.
All right, Gabe Pruitt, thank you very much. It's amazing that we can see a track record performance, but why wouldn't it come from a horse like Bettor's Wish, the 2019 leading money winningest horse in the entire sport with a bankroll of $1.6 million. We've got Art Zubrod from the Fair Island Farm. He and his wife, Leah Chevery, operate that establishment. Again, we recognize them as being big supporters here, sponsoring those Grooms Cups as well. But Art also has a job with the Brittany Farms, and this is a Brittany bred, Art. So tell us the story about how he ended up as part of your ownership group.
Well, I didn't pick him out. Chris bought him, but I will tell you that I loved him, and I went right to him after he bought the horse and asked him if we could have a quarter of the horse or even more if he had any room for us. The thing that I liked about him most, and one of the way I picked out our yearlings where I think that they've got good prospects, is when we show them in the paddock. Usually the first time you show them in the paddock is the best they ever are, but the great ones get better. He got better every time.
Now, this has been a heck of a ride here. You and I got to do this last year at the Winter Circle as well. Bettor's Wish loves this Red Mile clay surface here, but I'll tell you what, he's recently returned to top form for trainer Chris Ryder.
Yeah, you know, Chris and I've never discussed it with him. I don't know if breeding him took any edge off of him. I personally don't think that's true, but he was as good today as he's ever been. I really think this was the best he's ever been today.
Now, the Stallion deal was announced a little bit earlier, maybe it was a month or so ago. He will stand where?
Diamond Creek Farm, Pennsylvania.
All right. It never gets old here sitting in the Winter Circle at the Red Mile, does it? This is your home, and you just love being here.
I love it.
All right, Art, thanks so much. 147, new track record, Bettor's Wish in the All-Raj Open.
Congratulations to Art and all the connections of Bettor's Wish with that rundown quickly. 5-6-9, 10-4-3, 1-7-2-8 on the bottom. Again, it's 5-6-9, 10-4-3, 1-7-2-8 on the bottom. Sixth race up next. It is in 7 minutes. It's the All-Raj Farms Open Trot, sponsored by Jeff and Paul DeGrell at the All-Raj Farms. Dancing Loose caught wide at the 6th spot. He's pressing on there in tight traffic with Backstreet Shadow still caught on the rim. The quarter was 27-3. Centra's dead at the inside 8th. Brassy Hanover stacked up at the early stages, 9th in front of Dorsal Duro Hanover as they mix it up across the backstretch. This is the Plan took over, but it's Bettor's Wish who now reaches up for a done. The slight favorite, Bettor's Wish, takes over command from This Is the Plan, but will face immediate pressure in the form of Century Pharaoh. So they continue to do battle as they race up to the half-mile mark in 54-4. Century Pharaoh looks to move up and wrestle the lead away from a Bettor's Wish, who counters and quickens down at the inside. This is the Plan with a decision to make. Gingras still tracking down at the inside right now, 3rd with 3/8 to go. Our Major Dan follows at the cones in a 4th. Dancing Lou's been out every step, but he continues to work up in the 5th spot. Backstreet Shadow's been out every step as well. He's up a 6th there with Filibuster Hanover. Saving ground at the 7th spot. It's a Bettor's Wish who takes the field at the top of the stretch in the All-Raj Open Pace. This is the Plan. Continues to track in 2nd. Century Pharaoh begins to unravel. Center of the track, that's Backstreet Shadow who moves up. They reach mid-stretch. Bettor's Wish maintains the lead from This Is the Plan. Backstreet Shadow 3rd. Brassy Hanover's up at the 4 outside 4th, but it's Bettor's Wish. Bettor's Wish sharp today. Bettor's Wish down at the line in 148.
Captain Treacherous, North America's dominant pacing stallion. Captain fillies were 1, 2, 3 in the 2019 two-year-old Breeders' Crown.
Reflect with me, 150 and 3.
As well as the 2020 Mistletoe Chalet.
Reflect with me, then Lion Sentinel, then Rocknificent, 149.
The Captain sired half of the 2020 Meadowlands pace starters, including Allywag Hanover.
Allywag Hanover again.
Standing at Hanover Shoe Farms.
Wherever harness racing's most important stakes races are held, from the East to the Midwest to Lexington to Ontario, you'll likely see a racehorse bred by Brittany Farms in the winner's circle. Brittany's focus on quality over quantity has made the farm not one of the largest breeders, just the best, everywhere.
Sugar Valley Farm in Delaware, Ohio is proud to be a part of the sport's rejuvenation in the Buckeye State, dedicated to providing the best stallions available at any price point. Lather Up, who equaled the all-time record of 146, joins world champion Down by the Seaside. 2009 Pacer of the Year, Well Said. Mr. Wiggles, sire of 2015 Horse of the Year, Wiggle It Jiggle It, and $2 million winning trotter, Creatine. For more, log on to SugarValleyFarmStallions.com.
Trotter stepping onto the track for the All Raj Farms Open Trot worth over $148,000. Sponsored by Jeff and Paul DeGrell, the All Raj Farms. No changes in race 6. What is Crystal Fashion? Jim Campbell trains for the Fashion Farms LLC. Jordan Stratton. Number 2 is Lindy the Great. Julie Miller trains. Andy Miller drives for the Andy Miller stable and Team Lindy the Great. 3, Atlanta. Ron Burke trains. Got a Jingra board for Crawford Farms Racing. Brad Grant and Howard Taylor. Number 4 is Sold Strong. Oka Svodstedt, the trailer driver for Stable Up Wydot. 5 is Chimpanzee. Marcus Melander trains. Brian Sears up for Courant Incorporated in the SRF stable. 6, Majestic Player. Walter Haynes Jr. trains. Brent Miller in the bike for Jeff Found Racing. Brian Carsey and Casey Myers. 7 is the Veteran. Paul Kelly trains the Paul Kelly Racing Stable, the SRF Stable. Jim Winsky and Stephen Michaels. Mark McDonald drives. At 8 is Mission Accepted. Ron Burke trains for the Burke Racing Stable. Knox Services. David Wills. Weaver Brushebe. Chris Page at the controls. That's the field for race 6. There are no changes.
Thanks very much, Gabe Pruitt. Another Alaraj Farm Open coming up next. The Open Trot for a purse of $148,500. Taken last year in an epic event by Six Pack and Oka Svanstedt. This one's sponsored, of course, by Jeffrey and Paula Garral of the Alaraj Farms. We thank them for that. Unfortunately, they would be here with us, Gabe Pruitt, under any normal circumstances. Not this year. We've got the classic battle set here against the girl against the boy, the 5-year-old Atlanta and the 4-year-old Chimpanzee. Got a nice stat from Greg Reinhardt on Twitter the other day here. Chimpanzee is now won at 11 different tracks. He's also a dual Breeders' Crown champion at ages 2 and 3. I gave him the edge today. Which way did you go?
I'm with you on that, Dave. I gave Chimpanzee the edge as well. I thought that was a great duel there in the Caesars Trotting Classic up at the Hoosier Park there on September the 25th. And Chimpanzee just got the best of Atlanta in the late stages. She is a champion mare as well. I don't want to discount her chances here, but I do think at the end of the day, Chimpanzee is the one to beat. The fans here agree 3-5. He's 6 of 8 on the season. A very talented set of Chapter 7, of course.
Now, we can't discount Atlanta. She has been nothing but a superstar in the sport of harness racing. She is sitting on career win number 25 to add to her $2.4 million bankroll. But I'll tell you what, the way we've watched her race most recently, it definitely seems that Yannick Gingras tries to point her from off the pace. Could that hurt today?
Don't think so. I mean, I think we have such a fair track. Really haven't seen much in terms of any bias here today. So I think if there's any track where that would not come into play, it is typically here in Lexington. Things really set up well for last time there in that Dayton Derby. But she responded. Atlanta was so sharp. She's been sharp all throughout her career. A winner, Dave, remarkably at half of her lifetime starts, 24-48.
Number 2, Lindy the Great, has been very solid and consistent since being taken over by Andy and Julie Miller here. But I see a lot of seconds. I see 0 for 11 on the campaign. Any chance that may change today?
Well, he is a very nice trotter, and even though he is winless, over 300,000 already on the season, but it's just he's just had to go against all of these good horses week in and week out. When you look up and down his lines, it is the who's who of the free-for-all trotting ranks. So Lindy the Great, may have to step things up to try and pull off an upset win, maybe just a slight notch below the 2 favorites here, but he is very good in his own right. He looks very good scoring down to the track here today for driver Andy Miller, a horse that you must consider in your business here in race 6.
Not a lot of respect, at least from the bettors, for the top Midwest trotter in the game. That's number 6, Majestic Player. Brett Miller will drive for trainer Walter Haynes Jr. This is another horse that just gives his all each and every start. He's won 13 of 18 this season.
Majestic Player is a horse I wasn't familiar with until earlier this season, as many of us weren't, obviously, Dave. But right when we first started racing back at Scioto, Guardian Angel and Majestic Player hooked up there in the open trot. It was an afternoon card. If my memory serves me correctly, Guardian Angel was well rated on the front that day. Majestic Player came from an impossible spot. The way the race set up and just circled right past Guardian Angel, it just caught my eye. I thought it was just an incredible move. So, yes, he's been here in the Midwest for the most part, but he has not done much of anything wrong. He took a very tough trip there last time. At Dayton, that took its toll in the late stages, but he has a tremendous amount of talent. He'll give another deserving chance here to step up and go against the best of the best.
And tell me about one more, the veteran, number 7 for Mark McDonald and Paul Kelly here. You saw that race back on September 8th. That was his last start here at the Red Mile, and boy, did he go fast.
That was a new track record. It was 1/5 of a second off the world record. In fact, Mark McDonald said the bulbs were out the teletimer there at the top of the stretch, or if he had known what type of mile he was going there on the clock, he would have urged him a little more because it was effortless, Dave. Yes, it was a pretty soft spot for the veteran, but he could not have been any more convincing, although you and I both know at times sometimes really doesn't come into play, so it's just a much better and deeper group overall. But that was quite the speed show, a double-digit win that day for the veteran to get a track record. He was just 1/5 of a second off the world record.
Alaraj Farms Open Trot, second of our Alaraj finals this afternoon. They're going to go for $148,000. Do you like Atlanta, the mare, at 6-5, or Chimpanzee, the 4-year-old, at 4-5? Good race coming up.
The Dream Foundation starting gate will begin to position its post time for this afternoon's 6th race. Starter calls. Open Trotters lined up at the All Raj Farms. Open Trot, sponsored by Jeff and Paul DeGrell's All Raj Farms. Field of 8 to close out the pick 5. They are on gate. And they're off and trotting. Chimpanzee steps out sharply from the center. Atlanta is also fired up early there for Jingra with Crystal Fashion moving on through that at the inside. Atlanta looks to trot on at the top here with Chimpanzee working up at the outside. The favorites out 1-2. It's Crystal Fashion who is way in third. Lindy the Great out trotting fourth. Soul Strong is next in the 5th spot in front of Majestic Player. He's under tight range 6th. These 2 clear of the Veteran. And at the back, that is Mission Accepted. The quarter solid here, 27-1 for these off-track conditions. The slight favorite at 4-5. Chimpanzee calls these shots across the backstretch. Atlanta perfectly positioned. She's on the back there in second. Crystal Fashion tracks third. Liddy the Great still holding down the 4th spot in front of Soul Strong. Majestic Player continues patient 6th in front of the Veteran. Mission Accepted's been last throughout. No change in position. Chimpanzee getting plenty of respect on the point, and he will post it opening half here. 54-3. Atlanta still tracking very tight off the leader's back. Crystal Fashion continues in third. Lindy the Great looks over 4th in front of Soul Strong. Majestic Player's underway to the outside now 6th, but he's got 7 lengths to make up. His time is ticking away. Less than 3/8 to trot. And it's Chimpanzee, but here comes Atlanta. Up and out of the pockets. The favorite's going to drop the gloves right now. Atlanta up to look Chimpanzee in the eye. Crystal Fashion just off that dueling pairs. They trot through 3/4, 123. They turn for home with the All Raj Open Trot, and it's Atlanta who has taken over from Chimpanzee. He had little resistance down at the inside. Crystal Fashion works down the center of the track third. Liddy the Great driven out 4th. Deep stretch. Atlanta maintains the lead. Crystal Fashion is inching in. Far outside Majestic Player. Atlanta's close to home with Crystal Fashion inching in. Atlanta to win it. Atlanta wins in 150. Crystal Fashion second. Majestic Player was third. Three, 1, 6, 2 out officially in the 6th. Turning trackside for the Diamond Creek Farm Winners presentation. This is Atlanta. Ron Burke, the treader, Yannick Gingras for his third win of the day. The first 6 races on the card. Atlanta is owned by Crawford Farms Racing, Syracuse, New York. Brad Grant of Ontario and Howard Taylor, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Back-to-back stakes victories for Atlanta. 5-year-old daughter of Chapter 7 from the Cantab All-Mare Heavy Blue Chip. The winning effort this afternoon is a season's best for Atlanta, 150 flat. She was just 3/5 of a second off the world record. Nick Salvi's trackside for the trophy presentation on behalf of Jeff and Paul DeGarrel's All Raj Farms, Atlanta. Takes the All Raj Farms open trot. The results are official for race 6, Atlanta, $4, $2.80 and $2.40. 1 Crystal Fashion second, $8.20 and $6. Third of the 6 Majestic Player, $11.60. The exacta was $26.60. The $1 trifecta worth $89.30. 20-cent superfecta, $55.22. At the 50-cent pick 5 here this afternoon, that pool well over $26,000 on closing day. Formful sequence, 50-cent ticket, $42.70. Official rundowns for the 6th race. Crystal Fashion second. Number 2, Lindy the Great 4th. Atlanta the race winner. Soul Strong was 5th. Number 5, Chimpanzee 6th. 6 Majestic Player 3rd. Number 7, the Veteran 8th. 8 Mission Accepted 7th. Rechecking top down. It's 2, 4, 1, 5, 6, 3. 8 and 7 on the bottom. Atlanta scores in 150 flat, a season's best. At this time, we'll sit it down trackside. Dave Brower standing by with a gentleman having a great afternoon. He's already in for half the card here on closing day.
He sure is having a great afternoon. Several trips to the Diamond Creek Farm Winner Circle for driver Yannick Gingras. Another one behind Atlanta today. Now, you chose to race her a little bit differently today, possibly due to the conditions?
No, it wasn't really the condition. It was just, I thought on paper it was a 2-horse race. And, you know, me and Ronnie were actually on the same page. We talked just before going on the track. He's like, you know, what do you want to do? But I just didn't want a Chimpanzee on a loose lead and have to come like from 5 or 6 lengths behind him. No, I respect the horse, so I just want to stay close to him.
Now, you did make an aggressive move on the final turn, coming out of that 2-hole a little bit early. Did you sense that Chimpanzee might not have it today?
Yeah, he was already, you know, asking. Brian was already asking him there in the last turn. I know he's a little bit lazy, but to me, like, I thought I had, you know, a shot to, you know, to go right by him at that point, and, you know, obviously it worked out.
Once you wrested the lead away, Crystal Fashion and Jordan Stratton came at you pretty hard, though, too. So Atlanta had to dig in and fight.
No, she really did, you know, and then, like, I think if you can, you know, trip her out, she's incredible. But today I think she gutted it out, and, no, all credits to her.
Overall, how do you sum up her career since the Burke Brigade took over the conditioning?
I think it's been great. You know, it's a little bit of a learning curve, too, because, you know, she raced on the front a lot. And I don't think today, no, once in a while, I think she's fine on the front. But, like, it was my fault. I think I was racing her a little too aggressive for a while. And she's responding to the trips, and we're going to try to, you know, try to keep doing it.
Now, while I've got you here, we've got to talk to you about Tall Dark Stranger's performance earlier today. That was an amazing mile over this track.
It really was. You know, the horse is tremendous. Every time he steps foot on the racetrack, and, you know, he never disappoints. And he was pacing so strong at the wire, it was like he was still behind the gate. Like, I think the fastest 8 of the race for him was the last 8, and that's pretty scary.
Now, I gave Chris Ryder a chance to make his case for the Horse of the Year, which we'll talk about in a little while. You make your case for Tall Dark Stranger.
Well, they're both great horses, so not one way or the other. It's no disrespect to Party Girl Hill, but in my opinion, you know, I think if you just look at the last 8 of those 2 horses today, to me, that's where the difference is. You know, I think he was pacing so strong, and you know, but she's a great horse too. She really is probably the greatest filly we've ever seen. So, I mean, I'll vote Tall Dark Stranger.
All right, last question. In the Kentucky Futurity 128th edition, you have Ready for Money. I'm a little bit concerned about that second-tier spot and how you'll get away, but you are not.
No, I'm not. It is what it is. Like I said yesterday, a different interview, there was the 1 and 2 have a lot of speed, so we're going to try to follow. Obviously, I have to follow the one with a 12 horse in the race, but we're going to follow him out of there and we'll try to get away as close as we can get away and go from there.
All right, Yannick, good luck in that race and congratulations. Another win from the incredible Atlanta. It's her 25th lifetime from just 49 starts.
Thank you very much.
Pairs. They trot through 3/4, 123. They turn for home with the All-Raj open trot, and it's Atlanta who has taken over from Chimpanzee. He had little resistance down at the inside. Crystal Fashion works down the center of the track third. Lindy the Great driven out 4th. Deep stretch, Atlanta maintains the lead. Crystal Fashion is inching in. Far outside Majestic Player. Atlanta's close to home with Crystal Fashion inching in. Atlanta to win it. Atlanta.
our passion and our promise to breed the best and sell the best so you can race the best. Crawford Farms, home to this year's 2020 Hamiltonian filly champion Ramona Hill.
Andrew McCarthy finds today. Ramona! Oh, Ramona Hill takes the Hamiltonian.
And over 100 more stakes-winning broodmares, racehorses, and retirees. They call it the Sport of Kings. We call it the love of champions. From our farm to the winner's circle, share our passion. Crawford Farms.
Diamond Creek Farm presents Sweet Lou, the Great White Blaze. With star power and charisma to spare, fans far and wide. Success at the highest levels, and that unique look that just says greatness.
Oh, Sweet Lou! How sweet it is! Sweet Lou rocks!
And Sweet Lou wins the TVG free-for-all final.
Sweet Lou, the Great White Blaze, now standing at Diamond Creek Farm.
Marlowe, Hanover,
Hanover.
Oticon, Hanover up in
Green Shoe will win the Kentucky Futurity.
It's all Hanover in 149 and 2.
You Are My Candy Girl, 148 and 2, a stakes and track record.
Percy Blue Chip for the victory.
Three-year-old trotting filly stepping on the track for the Trixton this afternoon, sponsored by Dr. John Cummins, Dr. Jennifer Stowe. Kicks off the pick four, low takeout just 15%, $10,000 guarantee. We are going to be well north of the guarantee. In fact, we're already almost at the $10,000 mark currently. What is Common Sense? Oka Sponstedt, the trader, driver, and the co-owner with the SRF stable. Number 2 is Tricky Sister. Andrew Harris trains for Bob Key. Todd McCarthy drives. 3 is Munster. Perry Ingblom trains. Andy McCarthy aboard for Black Horse Racing and the Wiseman Farms LLC. Number 4 is Shishido. Nancy Tactor trains for Black Horse Racing and John Fielding with Yadik Jingra. 5 is Kiki Mora. Chris Beaver trains and he co-owns with Sandra Burnett, Scott Ziron. 6, Spoiled Princess. Nancy Tactor trains for Black Horse Racing and Christina Tactor, Dexter Dunn. And the 7 is the undefeated sophomore Guinevere Hall. Melanie Wren trains, Pete Wren drives, the Empty Pocket Stables, and Dave McDuffie. That is your feel for the 7th race. It does kick off that low takeout to pick for just 15%. Again, we'll be well north of the $10,000 guarantee. Already well over 9,000 in clubbing. We have only one change in the Pick 4 sequence. The Pick 4 sequence covers races 7, 8, 9, and 10. The only change comes in the 10th race, scratch 8, Velocity Ruckus. Velocity Ruckus is out of the race 10. Dave Brower standing by with a special guest who has returned to Lexington, and they are outside right now at the outdoor stage.
Thank you very much, Gabe. Whenever you get a chance to talk to harness racing royalty, you certainly take advantage of it. It is my pleasure to welcome back to the Red Mile for the first time in 25 years, Hall of Fame announcer Roger Houston. Roger, welcome back.
It's a strange feeling, but I spent many a year right here during the fall meet and the spring meet, and I've been back to drive a few times in the Billings Amateur, but this is the first time that I haven't been able to work a schedule to be able to come down here.
So did you get any goosebumps when the car turned onto Red Mile Road for the first time in more than 2 decades?
You have no idea how much it's changed. I always came New Circle Road or Broadway, and we came Broadway, and I didn't recognize anything, especially after you got out of downtown and come this way.
Yeah, it's tough to get used to the roads and changes and stuff like that.
What's all those apartments, townhouses over there?
Yeah, that's all new on the Tattersall's turn there.
Yeah.
Everybody gets to watch the races for free. They certainly don't have to pay any admission. Now listen, you and I had a really good time a couple of weeks ago at Little Brown Jug Week. We didn't have any fans there, though. Are you happy when you walked in here that you could actually see some fans enjoying the races? We've got a good crowd on hand today, even with this weather.
You know, it's great to have fans, make no doubt about it. But after we got used to the situation at Delaware, I think I handled it well. Once they started racing, I knew we had a lot of people watching on TV, so it made it a lot easier. But you do miss the interaction with the fans.
We do. We feed off of that constantly. Now, your impressions of the incredible racing action we've seen so far today? Well, truly championship performances.
Tall Dark Stranger, no doubt about it, 47-2, but I was equally impressed by Party Girl Hill, 47-2 as well. And I've never in my career seen a filly win races as easy as she does. Seems like she's wrapped up every race that she has, and she's got a lot left in the tank.
She seems to have a lot left in the tank. She's in the crafty hands of trainer Chris Ryder, and of course she flaunted her speed and her class in that Jugette performance.
2 heats, she was tremendous, especially in the first heat, and she was well within herself the second heat. And the thing that I enjoyed, and I'm a little partial, they weren't scared of 2 heats, and they weren't scared of a half-mile track. And that really impresses me.
Yeah, that was a joy for us to watch. And obviously, trainer Chris Ryder and owner Tom Hill, they weren't scared about the challenge of taking on the boys today.
I felt good for Tom Hill getting that Jugette on his birthday over there, and I've met him a couple times and know the family, and I was just happy for him, and he's got a great one in Party Girl Hill.
He sure does. I want to ask you about one more thing, because you have done extensive work in your home state of Ohio this season, going to all of the fairs, working along with the Ohio Harness Horsemen's Association. Are you having fun doing that?
You know, I was born and raised on the county fairs in Ohio. I had at one time 17 county fairs all over the state of Ohio. So believe it or not, I've been to some county fairs this year that I've never been to before, and that's been enjoyable. And I will always be known, and I'm proud of it, to be known as a county fair announcer.
Okay, that's where you made your bones and got your roots, right?
Most definitely.
One more fair this year, then can we look forward to a little downtime for you, or are you going to just continue doing other stuff?
We'll find something to do in the downtime, and we don't really call it downtime because it'll be my first year wrapped up in November for the Ohio Harness Horse Association, so it'll be much like November, December, January, and February, and hope when we get back to the fair season next year, the COVID-19 will be in the past, and we'll have county fairs in a normal situation.
Okay, talk to us a little bit about the various broadcasts that you were part of, along with your team, Frank Frost, Steve Bateson, Renee Mancino and company. You guys were you were working here, there, and everywhere, and everybody loved it.
When the final figures are in, we played those racing broadcasts to something like 7 different countries all over the world, better than 25 different states in the United States, viewers watching. Last night, I think our numbers were something like 12,000 people watching the Ohio Harness Horseman Association Facebook page. And I feel we've created a lot of new fans. And if there's one thing that COVID-19 has a plus for, it was in our ability to take the fair racing in Ohio to the fans all over the world.
That was a great job done by everybody as part of that team here. Now, last question, then we'll let you go here. How's the handicapping going today?
Well, I only made one bet today, and that was Catch the Fire. He finished third, but I was tickled the way he raced, and I've got special connections, of course, with the Wilders and such, and I was proud of Mike and Catch the Fire.
I was too. He actually loomed boldly there for a second or two, but you made a good bet because that price was much higher than it should have been about a colt with his quality.
Make no doubt about it, and I'm just happy for him and John Ackley and all the others.
All right, and I'm happy to be sitting next to you. I'm glad you made the trip here. Let's not make it another 25 years before you come and see us here in Lexington.
If I come back, it won't be 25 years down the road because I don't think I'll be here then.
All right, Roger, thanks for taking a couple of moments here. I know you're having fun talking to all the fans today. We love to talk to you, and we hope to see you soon somewhere down the road.
It's a pleasure being with you always, Dave.
Roger Houston, Hall of Famer in harness racing.
Great job, guys. And one thing, Roger, I can assure you that has not changed much since the last time you were in town. That's the announcer's booth up here at the Red Mile. So stop it and say hello. Great job to Roger and the entire crew there. Echo those comments from Dave, the Ohio Harness Horsemen's Association. It is post time for the pick 4, your final boarding call. The Dream Foundation starting gate has moved into position. Starter calls. Once again, last chance to wager on the pick 4. That pool climbing well north, nearing in on 20,000. It is the Trixton 3-year-old filly open. Trixton, the 2014 Hambletonian champion, the sire of multiple stakes winners, including Cuatro de Julio. It was a 51 and change International Stallion Stake winner here this week. 3-year-old trotting fillies lined up to kick off this afternoon's pick 4. A field of 7 sponsored by Dr. John Cummins and Dr. Jennifer Stowe. They're off and trotting. Shishido goes sprinting out quickly for Jingron at the inside. Common Sense also out well as they trot into that opening turn. And Shishido looks to march up and around Common Sense. Tricky Sister is there trotting in the 3rd spot. Spoiled Princess, the favorite. She settled in the early stages at the inside with Guinevere Hall still sweeping up. Munster came out trotting in 6th. At the back, that's Kiki Amora. They circle that to Tattersall's turn. And up top, Shishido is there past the quarter and 28 and 1. Svanstedt out of the pocket with Common Sense. So Common Sense under progressive handling. It's been a tough go of it so far for Guinevere Hall. She's still caught wide in 3rd as Tricky Sister continues to give chase to the inside 4th. Spoiled Princess, odds on, she is 5th, currently 8 lengths off the lead right now in front of Munster. And Kiki Mora still last. As they trot up towards the half-mile mark, Common Sense has given the cold shoulder to this point to Guinevere Hall. They match strides past the half at a quick 55 and 1. Quick tempo given the off-track conditions. It's Guinevere Hall, undefeated as a sophomore. She takes over the top as they trot onto the far turn. So Common Sense is back to a 2nd. Now the favorite Spoiled Princess begins to march up uncovered on the outside for Dexter Dunn. Shishido was able to squeeze out in tight traffic there on the outside, so she's now well spotted second over fourth. Tricky's sister was rough gated there as she drifts out of the turn, so that gives room for Kiki Moore to swing out. They tried at the top of the stretch off 3/4, 122 and 4, and it's Spoiled Princess who was taken over from Guinevere Hall. Shishido rallies down the center of the track. Kiki Moore is up at the far outside, but as they reach mid-stretch, it's still the favorite Spoiled Princess trying to put away Shishido with Kiki Moore giving chase still in third. Deep stretch. Spoiled Princess is wrapped up here. It is the favorite to Spoiled Princess as advertised at 1-2. Spoiled Princess will take it. Shishido was second. Kiki Moore third. Guinevere Hall held fourth at 151 and 1. Spoiled Princess returns trackside for the Diamond Creek Farm winner's presentation. It is the third win of the day for trader Nancy Tactor. Also the third winner of the day for driver Dexter Dunn. The first they have teamed up, though, with Spoiled Princess. Spoiled Princess takes the Trixton. She is a daughter of Trixton from the Broadway Hall Mare Fashion Spooter. Bred by Robert McNerney, the Hauser Brothers Racing, New Jersey and New York. Spoiled Princess now owned by Black Horse Racing, Lebanon, New Jersey, and Christina Tactor of East Windsor, New Jersey. It's her second start for the New Connections. Third win of the day for trader Nancy Tactor and driver Dexter Dunn. 6-4-5-7 remains unofficial. Greeting the Wedding Connections trackside, Dr. Jennifer Stowe makes the trophy presentation. Race 7 sponsored by Dr. Cubbins, Dr. Stowe. Full service veterinary care with offices in Kentucky and Florida. We thank Dr. Cubbins, Dr. Stowe for their sponsorship of Race 7. Seventh race results are now official, and fans do appreciate your support of this afternoon's closing day. Pick 4, that total pool right at 26,000 here in closing day. Very nice pick 4 pool. It does begin with the favorite Spoiled Princess, $3, $2.10 and $2.10. Second, the 4 Shishido, $4.60, $4.20. Third of the 5 Kiki Mora, $8.40. Exact was $13, $1 trifecta worth $41.80. Official rundown in for the 7th race. Common Sense 6th. Number 2, Tricky Sister 5th. 3, Munster 7th. 4, Shishito was 2nd. 5, Kiki Mora 3rd. Number 6, Spoiled Princess, a race winner. 7, Guinevere Hall was 4th. Rechecking time down at 6.57. 2.31 with 4 on the bottom. Spoiled Princess, a sharp effort, 150, 1-1. The 8th race up next, it is the 55th edition of the Kentucky Filly Futurity, sponsored by the Father Patrick Syndicate and Diamond Creek Farm, worth over $250,000. Field of 12, no changes. We'll have 2 start from the second tier, Crucial and Abs Attitude Express. Again, the 11 and 12 start from the second tier. No changes in the upcoming Filly Futurity. Post time is in 10 minutes. International Stallion Stake a winner here this week. 3-year-old trotting fillies lined up to kick off this afternoon's Pick 4, a field of 7, sponsored by Dr. John Cummins and Dr. Jennifer Stowe. They're off and trotting. Shishito goes sprinting out quickly for Jingrond at the inside. Common Sense also out well as they trot into that opening turn, and Shishito looks to march up and around. Common Sense. Tricky Sister is there trotting in the 3rd spot. Spoiled Princess, a favorite. She settled in the early stages at the inside with Guinevere Hall still sweeping up. Munster come out trotting in 6th. At the back, that's Kiki Mora. They circle that to Tattersaw's turn. And up top, Shishito is there past the quarter, 28-1. Svanstedt out of the pocket with Common Sense. So Common Sense under progressive handling. It's been a tough go of it so far for Guinevere Hall. She's still caught wide in 3rd as Tricky Sister continues to give chase at the inside 4th. Spoiled Princess, odds on she is 5th, currently 8 lengths off the lead right now in front of Munster, and Kiki Mora still last. As they trot up towards the half-mile mark, Common Sense has given the cold shoulder to this point to Guinevere Hall. They match strides past the half at a quick 55-1. Quick tempo given the off-track conditions. It's Guinevere Hall, undefeated as a sophomore. She takes over the top as they trot onto the far turn. So Common Sense is back to a 2nd. Now the favorite, Spoiled Princess, begins to march up uncovered on the outside for Dexter Dunn. Shishito was able to squeeze out in tight traffic there on the outside, so she's now well spotted 2nd over 4th. Tricky Sister was rough gated there as she drifts out of the turn, so that gives room for Kiki Moore to swing out. They trot at the top of the stretch off 3/4, 122-4, and it's Spoiled Princess who was taken over from Guinevere Hall. Shishito rallies down the center of the track. Kiki Moore is up at the far outside, but as they reach mid-stretch, it's still the favorite, Spoiled Princess, trying to put away Shishito with Kiki Moore giving chase still in 3rd. Deep stretch. Spoiled Princess is wrapped up here. It is the favorite to Spoiled Princess as advertised at 1-2. Spoiled Princess will take it.
The Breeders' Crown, presented by the Liebfeld Cats Breeding Partnership, is harness racing's richest and most prestigious championship event, with $6 million in purses over 2 nights. Tune in on October 30th and 31st to watch and wager on the 37th edition of the Breeders' Crown. Live from Harrah's Hoosier Park Racing and Casino. First post is 6 p.m. Eastern Time, both nights. Visit harrahshoosierpark.com for a live stream, a complimentary race program, and more information on ticket availability. The 2020 Breeders' Crown will be a ticketed-only event held in a reduced capacity format. Visit harrahshoosierpark.com for more info.
Captive audience on the outside up. Discover the best in North American standardbred racing at Woodbine Mohawk Park. T-Tric's got the motors with the highest daily average purses in North America, racing 5 nights a week, and an industry-leading stakes program. Woodbine Mohawk Park offers the most opportunities to win. Rushes up on the far outside. Join the growing ranks of owners from all over the globe and race with us at the #1 standardbred racetrack in North America.
The wait is over. The betting lines have made their much-anticipated racing debut, and the early results are phenomenal. As of July 15th, Betting Line has had an amazing 78 starters from 119 foals, including Dean B. Hanover.
A half a length of the stretch, the best. Dean B. Hanover.
A Buck-a-Bet Hanover, Folsom, and Letter Buck. Better's Delight's clear successor, Betting Line, standing at Hanover Shoe Farms.
The world's greatest harness racing returns to Meadowlands Racing and Entertainment on Saturday, September 5th. Live racing at 7:15 every Friday and Saturday through December 26th. Admission and parking are free. The track is also open for simulcasting 7 days a week. Plus, check out our FanDuel Sportsbook, where you can legally watch and wager on all sports action. Visit PlayMeadowlands.com for complete racing and sports wagering information. Must be 21 or older to wager. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Three-year-old trotting fillies are stepping onto the track for this afternoon's 8th race. It is the 55th Kentucky Filly Futurity, worth $255,000. It kicks off a pick 3. It's sponsored by the Father Patrick Syndicate at the Diamond Creek Farm. Number 1 is Sands Defoe. Ron Burke trains the Burke Racing Stable. Crawford Farms Racing. Jerry and Teresa Silva. Perdell and Libby and Weaver Buscemi. Chris Page. Number 2 is Next Level Stuff. Jim Campbell trains for the Run the Table Stables. Tim Dietrich. 3, Ramona Hill. Tony Aldana trains. Andy McCarthy aboard for Brad Grant. Crawford Farms Racing. Robert LeBlanc at the end of Jim Partners. 4 is Sorella. Nancy Tactor trains. Yatik Jingra drives for Elmer Fadden. Crawford Farms Racing and Brent Fadden. Number 5 is Sister Sledge. Ron Burke trains the Burke Racing Stable. Jason Melillo. Jerry and Teresa Silva. Perdell and Levy. Weaver Buscemi. Matt Kakali. 6 is Miss Savannah Bell. Per Ingbaum trains. Joe Bongiorno up for Al Livfeld. 7, Love a Good Story. Julie Miller trains. Andy Miller drives for the Penske Stables. Kentucky Atom Racing Stable. Daniel Plouffe. Number 8 is Sweet Shirley May. Domenico Cecchine trains. Scott Ziron wears the colors of the Lindy Farms for Buddy Market Breeders. 9, Padam. Nancy Tactor trains. Dexter Duda. And he's wearing the colors of Diamond Creek Racing. 10, Hypnotic AM. Marcus Melander trains. Brian Sears in the bank for Courant Incorporated. Starting from the second tier, 11, Crucial. Ron Burke trains the Burke Racing Stable. Bill Donovan, Jerry and Teresa Silva, Perdell and Livy, Weaver Buscemi, Dave Miller. And the other second tier starter, number 12, Abs Attitude Express. Lucas Walden trains for the Stop the Jade Farm LLC with Hocus Sponstedt in the sulky. That is the field for this afternoon's 8th race. 55th edition of the Kentucky Filly Futurity. Over $250,000 on the line. No changes. It kicks off another pick 3.
The first of our signature events here. It is Kentucky Futurity Day, ladies and gentlemen. And before we have the Futurity itself, we will have the fillies in action in the 55th edition here. Sponsored by the Father Patrick Syndicate and the Diamond Creek Farm. We have a dozen of the top sports fillies on the trotting end out there. Gabe, let's begin our discussion with the two favorites who will start side by side. Ramona Hill, the Hambletonian champion. Sorella, the Oaks winner.
Yes, we talked about some of the top contenders in the regular Futurity there, race 9. They're drawing some tricky posts. Well, couldn't have worked out much better here for the two favorites in this event. Ramona Hill, of course, the Hambletonian champion. Maybe just not quite on top of her game there. 5 cents on the dollar. She was nailed late, but she's been so good for so long throughout her career. Over $1.3 million in the bank. And the connection stepped up. They took a shot against the Colts there and took down the $1 million Hambletonian earlier this summer. She's been so good. And you got some good information for us there that she may have been a little sick there last week.
That was the report from the Alanya Armada, that she did not scope necessarily clean, but supposedly she has trained back in superb fashion. And I know Andy McCarthy is very much looking to avenge that loss. Now let's give a little love as well to Nancy Tachter's pair in here. Sorella, who captured the Hambletonian Oaks. Another win for the king of the Oaks, that being driver Yannick Gingras. Now she did win her division of the Bluegrass last week, but she held on by a nose, and it's a key race. Tell us why.
Well, Spoiled Princess just came out of that race to convincingly, we do mean convincingly, win the 7th race there. Yes, it was just an overnight there against 3-year-old trotting fillies, but I was still very impressed with that Spoiled Princess. Sorella, I didn't even know she held there in that photo, Dave. It was so close between Sorella, Spoiled Princess, Hypnotic AM. That was quite the finish there. The connections, well, they couldn't be any hotter here this afternoon. Nancy Tachter already 3 wins on the card. Same for Yannick Gingras. They've teamed up together for 2 of those wins. So the barn rolling red hot right now. And Sorella comes in off a major stakes victory. Obviously, she merits a lot of attention. I'm a bit shocked, though, Dave, that she is this short of a price into Ramona Hill. I thought Ramona Hill may drift down a little bit. I thought Sorella would be in the 5-2, 3-1 range. Are you shocked she's that low?
Well, she just took a big punch because she was 5-1, I think, when I turned around to look at my monitor. So now I see 2-1. But what a great story she's been, too. Bred by co-owner Elmer Fannin out of Delaware. The Crawford Farms bought into this one at some point, and they have been enjoying the ride as well. Also co-owned by Elmer's son, Brett. Couple others to look at, especially as part of the early pace skirmish, maybe. Number 2, next level stuff for Tim Tetrick and Jim Campbell. Another impressive winner of her division last week.
She was indeed, and she is a good tactical type filly. You know, she's going to get out of there and get some position. I think that always merits a long look when that's the case, and she's able to work out those type of perfect trips. That's what happened last week. She took full advantage. She sprinted home very nicely there, so I thought that was one of the best starts maybe of her career, in fact. So she arrives in good form today. Another horse out of that same race I do want to mention, Dave, because she just got all the worst of it, is a 7 Love a Good Story. You know, she went off 2-1 there. She was actually a shorter price than the 2 next level stuff. She got shuffled, pinned out at the inside. It just did not work out. But when she got clearance, she came rolling home. She was a good filly, daughter of Chapter 7 of the New York circuit all season long. So I think at a big price, I would not leave her out of my business here as well, 17-1.
17-1, a very attractive mutual there if the Orange Crush can overcome that outside post. How about number 5, Sister Sledge? She's pretty consistent. She was a very good filly as a freshman last year. She's been a very good filly this year with 5 wins out of 12 starts here. She's versatile enough to give Matt Kikali options.
Yes, Kikali picks up the drive here for treader Ron Burke. Just chased home that top trio we just mentioned that were involved in that tight photo. Okay last week, maybe just a notch below, but she did get home 26-2. She has, as you said, plenty of options. So will she take an early swing out of here? That's certainly possible. She's obviously been a stakes contender throughout her career. She's daughter of Father Patrick. Father Patrick Syndicate, the sponsor, Dave, of the Filly Futurity. He's got 3 in the Filly Futurity, 3 in the Futurity a bit later on in race 9 as well.
We can't talk big trot races here at the Red Mile without referencing the team of Brian Sears and Marcus Melander. They've got a very speedy filly in Hypnotic AM. She's also having a good year, about to go over 600,000.
When they hit the line last week, Dave, I thought Hypnotic AM may have won. Not only did she not win, she wasn't even second. She was third, so she was on the outside. That wild finish we had there in the Bluegrass split last week. But, yeah, she's been very consistent. Brian's hand certainly going to be forced here, you would think. From that tough post, you've got 2 of the second tier. You just cannot grab leather at this spot, so I'm not sure how the trip's going to work out. That would be the major concern for the 10 Hypnotic AM.
And we have to show a little respect to number 12, Abs Attitude Express, for trainer Lucas Wallen, probably the biggest race he's ever been in. Abs Attitude Express sprung the upset last week, a much lower price today.
Yes, if you missed the party, 34-1, a bit tough to show back up at 8-1 here. She opened up with a lot of action as well. She was a very short price with the wager book opened up, but that was a big step up there for her, the best we've ever seen her. Question is, can she follow it up? And from a very tricky post, she is from that 12 post there in the second tier. Never an easy assignment in my mind.
Last year's Kentucky Philly Futurity winner was Beautiful Sin for Oka Svanstad in 150-1. 2 years ago, it was Atlanta for Mr. Zeron Scott and his father Rick. Let's see who takes the 2020 version of the Kentucky Philly Futurity.
That Dream Foundation starting gate is moving into position. It's post time for the 55th Kentucky Philly Futurity. One of our signature events each and every fall here in Lexington. Starter calls. Three-year-old trotting fillies lined up at the 55th Kentucky Philly Futurity, worth $255,000. Sponsored by the Father Patrick Syndicate and Diamond Creek Farm. Field of 12. They are on gate. And they are off and trotting. Next level stuff goes sprinting out quickly for Tetrick, Miss Savannah Bell. Also with the move early for Bongiorno with Pedum. Stepping out there to make it 3 across the track into the Tattersall's turn. Next level stuff. There at the inside with Pedum moving on up now. She will take up the lead. Also floating up wide there was Hypnotic AM from that outside post. She's marching on for Sears. Sorella is underway to the outside of 4th. They mixed up past the quarter, 27 seconds. So it is a quick tempo here as Hypnotic AM looks to reach up and around to Pedum to take over. She'll face immediate pressure in the form of Sorella. Also Ramona Hill, the favorite on the attack there early. She's up on the outside of 4th. So they continue to trade jabs across the backstretch here in the Philly Futurity. And it is Sorella who has taken over the lead. Ramona Hill advancing up on the outside for McCarthy. Hypnotic AM is back to 3rd. And Ramona Hill's made a break in stride. Ramona Hill made a break while trying for the lead. There's a trot past the half in 54 seconds. So it is Sorella, the Hamiltonian Oaks champion, who shows the way for Jingra. Hypnotic AM is on her back in 2nd. Sister Sledge was left uncovered. She continues to inch out of the outside 3rd for Kakali. That's Crucial up 2nd over the outside for Miller. Pedum has been shuffled back to the 5th spot. Is Love a Good Story. Tees it up 3rd over the outside for Miller. They trot to the top of the stretch, and it is Sorella who fronts the field. Past 3/4, 123-1, top of the stretch of the Kentucky Philly Futurity. Sorella shows the way. Hypnotic AM is up and out of the pocket. Love a Good Story is launched up on the far outside for Miller. There are 3 across the track now. Sorella is driven out. Hypnotic AM's in between fillies. 4 outside, that's Love a Good Story. They battled out of the finish. A 3-way thriller in the Philly Futurity. Love a Good Story up to win it on the outside. Very tight for place, either Hypnotic AM or Sorella. Next level stuff was 4th in 151-2, a 27-1 upsetter in the Philly Futurity. Judges have posted the 7 Love a Good Story, who was off a traffic-troubled runner-up finish from last week, 27-1 upsetter. The Kentucky Filly Futurity, second to the 10 Hypnotic AM, third to the 4 Sorella. Number 2 Next Level Stuff, fourth, 7-10-4-2, and officially in the 8th. Returning trackside for the Diamond Creek Farm Winner's presentation. This is Love a Good Story. Julie Miller, the trainer, Andy Miller. Aboard for the wedding effort here this afternoon. Love a Good Story, a Lexington Select yearling graduate. She's owned by the Penske Stables of Minnesota. Kentucky Anna Racing Stable right here in Lexington. And Daniel Plouffe of Quebec. Love a Good Story, a 3-year-old daughter of Chapter 7. From the Andover All-Merit Celebrity Lovin'. Love a Good Story bred by the Celebrity Farms of New York. It is the 6th win of the season, 13th overall for Love a Good Story. Sean Guadi trackside of the Diamond Creek Farm to make the trophy presentation. The wedding connections of the Kentucky Filly Futurity, the upsetter Love a Good Story. At a career best effort, Kentucky Filly Futurity sponsored by the Father Patrick Syndicate and the Diamond Creek Farm. Big upset here with Love a Good Story. Dave Brown will be standing by with some of the wedding connections in a couple of moments. Race till unofficial 7-10-4-2. Wedding connections of Love a Good Story. Going to pick up some of those Kentucky Futurity hats brought to you today by the Wiseman Farms. We thank Jeremy down at the gift shop as well. Kentucky Futurity hats. The wedding connections both of the Filly Futurity and the upcoming Futurity here today. Brought to you by the Wiseman Farms. The Kentucky Filly Futurity champion, Love a Good Story. Rallies from well off of it to win today. Results are now official. Prices up at the 8th ranks. Love a Good Story going to light up the board. 56.20, 17.40, and 10.40. Second to the 10 Hypnotic AM, 9.40 and 5.80. Third to the 4 Sorella, $3. Exact to $248.40. The $1 trifecta worth $841.50. 20-cent superfecta, $1,622. Official rundowns for the 8th race. Sans Defoe 10th. Number 2 Next Level Stuff 4th. 3 Remoto Hill was 12th. 4 Sorella 3rd. Number 5 Sister Sledge 11th. 6 Miss Savannah Bell 5th. 7 Love a Good Story the winner. 8 Sweet Shirley May was 8th. Number 9 Patum 7th. 10 Hypnotic AM 2nd. Number 11 Crucial was 9th. And number 12 Abs Attitude Express 6th. Rechecking top down, it's 10-4-12, 3-11-5, 1-8-7, 2-9-6. Love a Good Story. Had a little traffic trouble last week, but none today. Dave Brower standing by with wedding driver Andy Miller.
Thanks again, Gabe Pruitt. A big upset in the 55th edition of the Kentucky Filly Futurity as Love a Good Story has pulled it for the Team Orange Crush, Andy and Julie Miller. Andy, first I want to ask you about the Bluegrass division last week. You kind of got caught in a bad spot, but when you shook loose with this filly, she was loaded at the end.
Yeah, she got caught in, and I didn't want to be first up with her, and she got shuffled all the way to last, and when I moved her in the lane, she took off and really finished strong to the wire.
So that had to give you a little bit of confidence going into this week.
Yeah, I thought if I could get anywhere close and not use her too much, good things could happen.
Were you a little worried about post 7 in a big and bulky field?
Yeah, absolutely. You never know what's going to happen, and I got away towards the back of the pack, but everybody kind of kept moving up.
When I was watching the race on the apron here, the 2 words I wrote about that first turn was cavalry charge. Where were you in all that scrum?
I was just biding my time and letting things kind of set up, and I was actually last on the outside in the first turn.
The fractions were very fast up front, 27.54 flat. Did you see Ramona Hill make the miscue?
Yeah, everybody was kind of wanting to follow her, and then when she made the break, it changed the whole outlook of the race.
Where were you at the top of the stretch? How wide were you?
I moved 3 and 4 wide coming off the last turn. I was actually third over in the last turn.
Now, through the New York Sire Stakes circuit, where she raced on a lot of small tracks, were you anxiously anticipating getting her out here on the clay surface, the 1 mile?
Yeah, last year she went here in 52, and I thought the big track would step her up again this year.
Breeders' Crown?
Yep, that's her next start.
That will be her next start. Okay, give us a little take on EL Ideal coming up in the Futurity. Can you make it 2 in a row?
It's another big race, or big field and big race, so hopefully it's 2 in a row.
All right, well, congratulations to you and Julie, the Pinsky Stable, the Kentuckiana guys, and Danielle Plouffe. Love a Good Story. We'll be shipping the My Art Hambletonian Champagne. Hopefully you'll get a bottle of that too.
I hope so.
Thank you, sir.
Also with the move early for Bongiorno with Pedum. Stepping out there to make it 3 across the track into the Tattersall's turn. Next level stuff. There at the inside with Pedum moving on up now. She will take up the lead. Also floating up wide there was Hypnotic AM from that outside post. She's marching on for Sears. Sorella is underway to the outside of 4th. They mixed up past the quarter, 27 seconds. So it is a quick tempo here as Hypnotic AM looks to reach up and around to Padam to take over. She'll face immediate pressure in the form of Sorella. Also Ramona Hill, the favorite on the attack there early. She's up on the outside of 4th. So they continue to trade jabs across the backstretch here in the Filly Futurity. And it is Sorella who has taken over the lead. Ramona Hill advancing up on the outside for McCarthy. Hypnotic AM is back to 3rd, and Ramona Hill's made a break in stride. Ramona Hill made a break while trying for the lead. There's a trot past the half in 54 seconds. So it is Sorella, the Hambletonian Oaks champion, who shows the way for Jingra. Hypnotic AM is on her back in 2nd. Sister Sledge was left uncovered. She continues to inch out of the outside 3rd for Kakali. That's crucial up 2nd over the outside for Miller. Padam has been shuffled back to the 5th spot as Love a Good Story. Tees it up 3rd over the outside for Miller. They trot to the top of the stretch, and it is Sorella who fronts the field. Past 3/4, 123 and 1. Top of the stretch of the Kentucky Filly Futurity. Sorella shows the way. Hypnotic AM is up and out of the pocket. Love a Good Story is launched up on the far outside for Miller. There are 3 across the track now. Sorella is driven out. Hypnotic AM's in between Phillies. Far outside, that's Love a Good Story. They battled out of the finish. A 3-way thriller in the Filly Futurity. Love a Good Story up to win it on the outside. Very tight for place. Either
My grandfather instilled in me that there's no such thing as luck. He said luck is where hard work meets opportunity.
in a field lies hope, anticipation. From the biggest races to the brightest stages, taking you on the wildest ride.
Forbidden Trade with a gigantic upset. Best in show.
For the glory, the pride, the payoff. Enter the field, the Ontario Sire Stakes program, from Ontario farms to the world stage.
Reach the people you have to reach by advertising in Harness Racing Update, the sport's most comprehensive and timely news source. HRU provides the best bang for your advertising dollars because we reach and engage your potential customers anywhere in the world. Not only has HRU grown its subscriber base by nearly 30% in just 3 years, but our open and click rates far exceed industry averages, which tells us that readers are engaged with the digital publication and how they receive it. Plus, your ad support helps us keep HRU free to subscribers. Find out more today by visiting harnessracingupdate.com and clicking on the advertising link at the top of the page.
This is the tale of Father Patrick, the standard bearer of a proud lineage, with a legacy of victory and glory all his own. His legend continues to grow.
Father Patrick in control. He does it again. He wins by 2.5 lengths.
Father Patrick with a Breeders' Crown.
Be a part of the legend of Father Patrick, now at Diamond Creek Farm.
When you need supplies for your horse, one name stands out: Big D's. Since 1974, Big D's Tack and Vet Supply has been the equine experts you can trust. Whatever your horse needs is available at Big D's Tack and Vet Supply. Visit the retail outlet in Streetsboro, Ohio, or order online at bigdweb.com. Most orders ship that day, or call 1-800-321-2142. Big D's Tack and Vet Supply.